Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to do another One Piece chapter review, chapter 1034, Sanji versus Queen. I meant to do, and I have also have the hiccups, sorry. But anyway, I tried to stop it, but it's not working. Anyway, I was planning on trying to do this about a week ago, but I was trying to see if I could get someone else to join me, but unfortunately, they couldn't make it, so I'm going to have hiccups regularly in this interview from this review, I guess, for all that stuff. So he couldn't make it. So I lost the opportunity. Plus, to mention, I was preparing for the upcoming Spider-Man movie by having a Spider-Man movie marathon, so I had to take my pick and all that stuff. So now that the unofficial release of the next chapter is out and all the spoilers, I figured I'd try and get this done before before the official release of the next chapters out and all that stuff. But yeah, sorry. Sanji versus Queen next chapter probably is what's implied and all that stuff. Though before we get in, I'll just talk about this one cover about how reader requested that Usopp winning prizes for the children at festival shooting game, as you see him lying down easily wearing like some sort of mask on his side as he just casually just shot one of the targets and winning a prize for one of the kids who I think have been crying and all that stuff, while we have some adults getting even mad because they either themselves missed or they're arguing with their kids and what to get. While I think another one is ringing some sort of bell about winner, winner, winner. So yeah, it's a nice little color thing. But anyway, onto the chapter as we're back to the pleasure hall with the left brain tower of Skull Dome, in which you see Sanji and Queen continuing their fight after Sanji has broken his Gemma suit and all that stuff. Where apparently I suppose Pleasure Girl, who Sanji apparently hitted, who we learned her name is Awesome, though granted I think that might have been revealed in the last chapter, sorry. Trying to tell her to stay away from the fight, otherwise she gets hurt, but she's trying to find her friend Chuji, where the other said, I'm sure he's just fine and all that stuff, so she seems to have this sort of male friend that we do not know of. As they're telling her to focus on her own safety. Meanwhile, we're with them trying to say that they should try and escape this island, heck, maybe even from Wano entirely and all that stuff. Anyway, we cut to Momonosuke briefly, who's talking about how he's just been a dragon like, Kaido. And he has grasped the neck of Kaido's flame clouds. Might now be able to push the island back up, but for as long as he can stop its fall, he thinks the worst can still be avoided, which I think he's trying to make sure it moves past the flower capital and all that stuff, though I probably need to double check on that. Hold on, I'm just sorry about the hiccups. As we get some brief scenes of people celebrating at the capital for the Fire Festival, I believe, and we cut to the performance main floor inside the Skull Dome, where you see more of the Beast Pirates and the Samurai fighting with ones trying to escape. The castle, while the Samurai, of course, continuing to hold the line and all that stuff. Sorry, let's see, hold on. Yeah, Momosuke continues to pull Gashima away. Anyway, Queen, we're back to the pleasure hall where Sanji and Queen are having their fight. And Queen is now using a move called Sparkling Queen, which Sanji recognizes those beam eyes from his brother, who uses a move called, his older one, who using like the Sparking Valkyrie, and then Queen using a move called Henry Queen that looks a lot like Sanji's. Other brother. It's Niji, I believe. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing these names correctly. But yeah, Sanji's first older brother, and then second older brother was using like his own move called Henry Blazer Lightning move. With Queen comments like, have you figured out what I'm doing? As he's using like Gemma 66's moves, as he was saving them up and all that stuff. Until after Sanji used his own suit to transform to see. Let's see. As he goes on about how since Judge's sons are the combination of his science tech. Let's see. He wants to beat Sanji where he was worn that. He planned to beat Sanji wearing that suit, that Germa suit to prove that his technology was better than his and all that stuff, and that he's the superior scientist. With Sanji just commenting about how he doesn't really care about that stupid rivalry, especially after Queen called him Stealth Black. As Queen just has managed to grab Sanji with his mechanical arm, as he planned, as he played dumb earlier. But as he wanted to, he played dumb earlier, but he's actually but it reveals that he's already researched and tested all of Germa's science. And he can recreate any move that his brothers do. With Sanji keep going about how could you stop comparing me to my family and and all that stuff and treating me like he's related to them. As Queen now uses his younger brother's Yonji, I believe, the winch guillotine, which Queen does his own version of it, winch Queen, if you will, as he ends up using Sanji's younger brother's armor, stretchable arm attack, as Sanji lands in front of a bunch of pleasure hole doors and building room, if you will. However, Sanji eventually breaks Queen's mechanical arm off with one of his flaming kicks, much to Queen's shock. With him cursing Sanji for doing so. With Queen starting to get angry at Sanji, though Sanji telling him that he warned him time and time again not to compare him to his family and all that stuff, or to say the name Germa around him. With Queen making a quick comment about, this freedom of speech and all that stuff. As Sanji uses a move called Flinch and Flare, which seems to do a little bit of damage to Queen. With Sanji saying, don't assume to have the upper hand. As he comments, there's no, his last attack has already did damage, even if he was faking that it didn't. Let's see. As he realizes that, as he says, that Queen must be banged up after the time they've spent fighting each other. Sanji has already accepted as he goes on to say how he's already accepted his fate of who he is. He's not the same person, and he's not the same person Queen fought back under the dome thing from that earlier part of their fight. However, this is where Queen revealed that he also has Sanji's own Gemma suit's stealth, invisibility cloak device. With him to comment about, then show me how you really are, as he uses the stealth black, as he will use his own stealth black move against him. After Sanji saying, so you can copy that too, disappears with a flash of speed, which shocks Queen. We're going to see the funny face one more time. As Queen deduces that he's probably just using high speed movement and will wait until he runs out of stamina until he can finish off Sanji and all that stuff. Anyway, we cut to like a little mouse in the battlefield as he's running towards one of the geisha girls. I think I called them pleasure girls earlier, but I think they're actually geisha. My mistakes there. And it's the same. And it's Ojama. Let's see. Wait, hold on a second. Let me just find the name. Let's see. Oh no, it's Osami. Osami. Let's see. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing on. And it's revealed that this mouse is Shuji, her little friend that she was so worried about. She asked the mouse to come over, so before like the fight starts over again. However, Queen is still there, invisible, and notices Osamo apparently. Ritzy comments about how she seems to be up on her feet again after and revealed that he's the one that actually hit her in retaliation to like avoiding his advances as let's see, do with the like Kumasaki dead and all that stuff. She's now become his new number one girl, but she apparently tried to avoid him by lying about a headache, and when he noticed, he got really mad and decided to hit her sooner as a form of punishment, and plans to try and do it again. As the mouse gets closer and closer to her, as he decides that Ritzy, his punishment from earlier was probably not enough. But however, just as he's about to attack her, Sanji comes flying out, thinking about what did he gain, which he thinks about how the exoskeleton muscle and speed have all increased his strength and all that stuff. Plus, add like the color of armament hockey he's developed. Let's see. The exoskeleton in his body is also tough and all that stuff, and even more capable of supporting like hotter flames. As Sanji uses a move called Iriti Jambe to cause faster acceleration, and he figured out that it was not him that attacked the Osame earlier, but actually Queen, as he calls him a scumbag for hitting a woman. As Sanji starts to pounding on multiple attacks, such as the Kula Ku, with like Asama, which lands a direct hit on Queen on the behind his head, as the geisha girl ends up seeing Queen there, and Sanji continuing to as we see it's actually done some damage to Queen, as Sanji continues with more repeated attacks with the Baste Coat Blast and the Polaron Pound, the Jamu Bisfect Blitz, and the Tenderon Tenderdizer, and the Flatulent Flare. Okay, these names are hard to pronounce, as well as Kue Crippler, the Poi Poker, Jira. Anyway, just pretty much Sanji just using all these repeated name attacks that he calls with his kicks to keep damaging Queen, till he finally uses the move called Before a Burst. Kicking, sort of like, what best I can describe it is a sort of it's a flaming back kick, which sends Queen flying. And that ends the chapter. Okay, first of all, let's get the non-Sanji stuff out of the way, which is mostly let's see the fact that we're seeing Momonosuke continue to move Omigashima out, as he's determined to make sure it does not fall on the capital. And we'll just see more of an update of the battle, which just a standard chaotic scene, which no doubt I think the Toei Animation will probably try and extend this fight a bit, just because they get more padding of the episode and all that stuff. But anyway, let's see. It's interesting that the geisha that Sanji apparently hit Osamo, I believe her name is, and sorry, I keep pronouncing her name wrong, has a little friend, and which we're told is a male by the other geisha girls, But it turns out that it's actually a little mouse that may be her pet slash best friend, her pet slash friend, Chuji. It's a little mouse, which I have to admit, Oda can draw quite cute little creatures. Let's see, can draw cute creatures like this mouse. So it's like it's a little sweet kind of thing. This geisha girl caring for this little mouse. Let's see, though. Granted, she's being a bit reckless by trying to find him in the midst of a battlefield between one of the Straw Hat's strongest pirates and one of, let's see, the all-stars for the Beast Pirates, which, if she's not careful, she could end up being a let's see, bystanding casualty. Sorry for the hiccups. So there's that. But anyway, the main highlight is, of course, that Sanji is fighting Queen, and given from what the unofficial, let's see, next chapter has shown that, yes, this is the final chapter of the Sanji versus Queen fight and all that stuff. And let's see, and for the final phase of this fight, it's revealed that Queen is actually has, let's see, is actually developing all the scientific technology that powered up Sanji and his brothers with their Germa suits, having all their moves and abilities. As he revealed that he's perfected the Germa technology and only wanted to, and only tried to egg on Sanji so he could use them. So, in a sense, Sanji is fighting someone who is all three of his brothers, as well as, let's see, himself, in a sense, if he ever went down the Germa path, if you will. So, in many ways, it's a symbolic way of showing that Sanji has, let's see, in a sense, sort of surpassed it, is stronger than all his brothers, and has surpassed them. Granted, this probably means that we're never going to get another Sanji versus Germa fight, but at the very least, this is confirmation that I think, let's see, since Sanji defeats Queen at the end of this chapter, and from what the unofficial spoilers have shown, that is the case, that Sanji is definitely stronger than all his brothers. By the way, people, do read the official chapter when, it actually comes out for the next one and all that stuff. I just couldn't avoid the spoil. I just, let's see, saw the spoilers on Twitter and all that stuff. Let's see. I saw some of the spoilers on Twitter and all that stuff. So yeah. Anyway, let's see, getting on to it. So yeah. So the other thing to take note here is, let's see, though, granted, let's see, what I do like how, one little joke I did like how we got to see Queen's reaction face one last time in his hybrid form when Sanji went super fast that Queen could no longer see him. Anyway, one interesting to note is the fact that Sanji did not end up hitting Asame, or let's see, the geisha girl from the last chapter. It was in fact Queen who was mad at her for rejecting him and all that stuff. On one hand, let's see, well, kind of shows you just how much of a scum Queen is and all that stuff. On one hand, I do feel like, let's see, granted, perhaps, Oda had a bit of a missed opportunity here to sort of perhaps develop Sanji's character in a way where, granted, we know that Sanji is never going to hit a female character and all that stuff, because it's just against his moral code, and Oda just wants to keep writing him that way, and all that stuff. Now that I'm saying that you shouldn't really hit anyone, really. It's just that, let's see, I do feel like this is a missed opportunity to have Sanji have a bit of a some sort of character growth about how, some sort of character growth of having some guilt of, for the first time in his life, actively, harming, a woman, which he vowed he would never do. But now that he's done it, there'll be a sort of conscience of let's see, okay, he's done it, and he must make sure that he never does it again and all that stuff. But and he'll probably just have to try and live with the fact that he'd done it once, even under Germa, and probably maybe a reminder to never be like his siblings again. But now that he knows that he didn't hit her and is actually queen. He probably no longer has to feel guilt, but only anger at Queen for being, as in his being, a scumbag who'd hit a, helpless female, helpless woman. Sorry. Which allows him to boost his fury as well, as besides the fact that the exoskeleton has done that. The advanced strength he has, which allows him to have even hotter flames, as he will. So pretty much Sanji's just had a bit of an upgrade in terms of his physical body, which allowed him to do all those kicks that eventually caused Queen to beat. I'm not going to try and pronounce them all again, but yeah. But either way, it was pretty good to see, that final kick panel of a back, sort of like a sort of back kick, if you will. Yeah, back flaming kick, which he finally took Queen out and all that stuff. Let's see. Anyway, I got a message from someone, but let's see. But anyway, I got to finish this review. So anyway, we finally have. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. But oh yeah, I keep getting distracted. Anyway, we finally have the conclusion of the Sanji versus Queen fight. And with Sanji finally showing that finally showing that he's not only surpassed Germa, but is capable of taking down a Yonko commander level pirate and all that stuff. So there's that, and not to mention, one that had the power of his family German and all that stuff, and he was able to do that. And we end up learning just how bit of a scumbag Queen actually is, and all that stuff. So yeah, as far as Sanji's a sort of character arc for this, for Wano, of him fully rejecting his a German heritage and all that stuff, and choosing to be Blackleg Sanji rather than stealth black Sanji for Germa, and Sanji is probably now down and out for the fights, which means we're probably going to get the conclusion of granted though, from what I can tell from the spoilers, it looks like next chapter is probably going to wrap up the Zoro versus King fight, but we'll have to wait and see and all that stuff. Overall, it was a pretty good chapter. I like the fight. I think the fight's been good. I've heard that some people have complained about how quick it is and all that stuff, but I think it has been going on for a very long time. I think from chapter 1022, from what I heard from the discussion earlier, so about at least 12 chapters. So at least this fight's been going on for 12 chapters, but it's but it's pretty close to a full-on fight with Sanji. And to be fair, Sanji hasn't really had a full-on fight since. Okay, granted, he had one. Okay, he had a bit of a fight against Page 1 earlier, but we never got to see the ending of that fight, though the anime implied that he fled after doing a bit more damage, but the other fight he had was against, his father, but his father, of course, cheated, and the brief fight he had against his brothers were a bit one-sided due to the fact that Sepher, his adopted father, was held hostage, if you will, and not to mention in the fact that he didn't really get to fight. Let's see, the only time he got to fight in Dressrosa was briefly against Doflamingo. But yeah, it's been a while that since we see Sanji defeat an opponent compared to someone like Zoro. But it's nice the fact that we've seen him beat someone that's like, let's see, very close to like Zoro's opponent level, though. Let's see, King is probably just slightly stronger if you go by bounty levels, which who knows. So there's that. Granted, I do, and well, Sanji is also Granted, I think there's perhaps some sort of little cop out of Sanji feeling any guilt for ever, striking a helpless maiden, if you will. But overall, it allowed him to the realization of what Queen was, that Queen did, allowed him to add more fire to his like furious kicks. So overall, I think I'll give this chapter a 9 out of 10. Thank you for joining me, and if you managed to listen through, I apologize for the interrupted hiccups, but as you can hear there. So let's see. I look forward to reviewing the next chapter, which may or may not be the last. I don't know how many more chapters are left for this year, but it seems at the very least, it seems like Oda's at least wrapping up the fights with Zoro and Sanji just before the ends, and then probably try and wrap up Wano some point next year for 2022. I'm Blue Star Saber, signing off. Thank you for joining me.